So welcome everyone to this special series of academies. As we already explained in the invitations, we started these academy sessions over 10 years ago, and we started them as a means to introduce the then new CAPI system. So over these 10 years, we have run 14 different academies in total, explaining the basics of the system, the features that we added over those 10 years, and the ones that were here from the beginning probably also realized we completely revamped the entire interface of the manager at one point. So after 10 years, we decided let's start these CAPI academies fresh again. So we can, so we have one range of academies, not 14, but 4 or 5, where we explain everything. So people know which academy to look for, and that then explains it in the current interface. So that is what we are going to do now for the CAPI academies. We will do the same operations for Nfield Online, but we'll do that early next year. We'll start with 3 of these series. We probably need 2 more. We will send invitations for those 2 other ones probably in 2 weeks. So today we'll start with the basic, the first one, the basics. As always, we have muted everyone. If you have any questions, please use the chat, and I will post those questions to our presenter, which is signed from our Mumbai help desk. I will post those questions at the appropriate time. So with that out of the way, also as a warning, we have started the recording. So this session is recorded. Over to you, Simon.
Thank you, Frank. Hello, everyone. I'm Zain from Mumbai, India. I'm a part of a help desk team. I will be taking the first session for the basics of Nfield CAPI. So the today's agenda, we have divided into 6 parts: interviewers, set up a survey for free intercept, assign interviewers, quotas, track interviewers, and monitor the surveys. First, interviewers. Well, this interviewer tabs which we are talking about is at the domain level, and the user with the role of DA, power user, regular user, and supervisor can add, modify, and delete interviewers. Other than that rule, they will not be able to see this tab in the Nfield manager. Second, in that same tab of interviewers, we have a button called download workload file. When you download this file, you can see the entries or the logs of all those interviewers in your domain. You can upload multiple interviewers at once using spreadsheet in .csv format. You can even download interviewers list. You can delete interviewers. You can even add a single interviewer using the interface provided in the Nfield manager. There is also, we will talk about the toggle supervisor mode, which is available, which you can turn on for any interviewer. And next is view details for each interviewers. Let me present you one demo. The interviewer tab which I discuss right now is in the main page of the manager. The first button you see over here is download workload file. When you download it, you can provide a range, and In the work log, you will see entries of all those interviewers, and in your domain. Next is the upload interviewers. If you want to upload a batch of interviewers in your domain, you can simply upload a CSV file. For that, you just have to you can use this format. If you do not know the format, you can download all the interviewers and then edit in that file. I will not go through the, I will just show you the one entry and how to edit in the in the interviewer list. This will be my 1, 2, 3. So it says one skip. Probably the reason is one of the I have not provided the password, but this is this is the feature you can use to upload a batch of interviewers. Next is in delete all the interviewers, which I suppose should not be done until unless there is a need for it. And then add interviewer using this interface. Next thing is the toggle. You can turn on this supervisor mode for that interviewer, and this interviewer will be as a supervisor mode, and then they can set a device ID, which we will talk about in upcoming academies. Next, setup survey. I will guide you to create a survey with the sampling method as a free intercept. You can either create a survey using the create button, or you can even use create a survey from a blueprint, which is another feature available in the manager. You can upload a questionnaire, save it. Samples and assignment, you can select free intercept. Since we are creating a demo for the free intercept, we'll just select the sampling method as free intercept. Then next is the assigning interviewers. In this setup or in this sampling method, you don't need targets or quota frames. It's a free intercept as by name. The interviewer just has to start a survey and complete it. Second, in this sampling method, only the stats are synced automatically when the device is connected to the internet, and not the data. To have all the data, the interviewer needs to perform a full sync on the device. Similarly, you can also um, run a test survey in the CAPI app by clicking three dots and clicking on the test button. In this mode, then you will run an entire survey in the CAPI app, but it will be a test survey and it will not be marked as successful. I just provided a demo on how to create a free intercept survey. Next, assign interviewers. This is the assignment we are talking about at the survey level. So the users with the role of DA, power user, regular user, supervisor can assign and unassign interviewers in a survey. So here in the samples and assignment tabs, go to the interviewers, click assign some interviewers, select your interviewer and click assign. You can also provide an interviewer instruction text. As soon as the assignment is done, you can see in the assignments tab and that interviewer name. This will have the details such as the type, whether it's a free intercept or joint targets, the assignment is true or false, the last sync date of that interviewer, and the counts. Number of successful, dropout, screen out, and rejected. One more tab, when you create a survey, in the setup survey, there are 4 tabs generally: general, questionnaire, quotas, and fieldwork. In the general tab, you can provide the name. You can even change the name which you have provided at the start of the creating the survey. You can change it. You can provide the customer name. These are extra fields which could be helpful to you to distinguish one survey from another. As we have one checkbox, exclude this survey from automatic deletion. When you enable is, it will not be deleted when the survey is stopped or not been used from the automatic deletion list. This is another feature for which we already have another academy session. Okay, I hope all good so far. Next, quotas. Um, Well, in quotas, now we have added another feature where you can upload as well as download your quota frame, and it will be in the JSON format. And if you want to upload it, it should be in the JSON format as well. Second, as I mentioned, the downloading of quota frame is possible. For example, if you have a survey in the past and you want to use that same quota frame from that survey into your new survey, you can just download it and upload it into your new survey. Paste the entire list of quota levels. There are quotas sometimes where you have a list of 50 brands or 50 statements or categories or more than that, and in the manager you have to manually add one by one. However, with the latest feature we have in the place, you can just copy the entire list and paste it, and it will automatically create those quota levels for you. Okay, let me show you. I'm uploading on quota frame, which I already have with me. And in the matter of seconds, you can see the entire quota frame is created. Since this is a CAPI survey, you cannot have maximum target. It will only have minimum targets. Next thing which I talked about, the list uh, or the a huge list of quota cells which you previously has to manually add one by one. But with this latest release, let's say I just copy the list and paste it over here, and it automatically created the levels for it. I do not need to manually add quota levels. Okay, next, track interviewers. Tracking of interviewers simply means you need to know about how much uh, interviews has been done or what is the current status of that interviewer in the survey. So you can first go to samples and assignments in the survey, then interviewers, and then click on assignments. You will find all those interviewers assigned to your survey along with the counts. Second, as I discussed at the start of this session, you can go to the interviewer tab on the main page of the Nfield manager, select an interviewer, and then click view details. It will show you all those surveys assigned to that interviewers along with the count and with the status, partially synced or fully synced. The last thing uh, is the last activity column in the sample tab. Uh, this tab is usually helps you to identify whether that interview done by that interviewer has been synced with the manager or not. Let me show an example. This is my already existing survey. So as you see, this column shows whether that interview has been synced or not. If it is blank, then the data is not full is not synced with the manager. For the interview number one, you can see it is successful. Last activity it shows 1 day ago, and the sample data variables are also synced. But for the interview number three, it just says successful and there is no other data for it. When I download the data, there will be no trace of this interview number three, as because the device has not been fully synced after the interview number one or two. As soon as the interviewer performs the full sync, it will have a value in the last activity column, and and then it will clearly identify that this interview has been synced with the manager. Okay. Second, the points which we discuss is here: samples and assignments, interviewers, and go to the assignment point tab. Over here, you can see the assignment is true, active is true, last sync date of that interviewer, number of successful interviews, dropout, screen out, and rejected. You can also check the activity of that interviewer by simply going to the interviewers tab, then select your interviewer and then click on view details. You see this interview has been assigned to 2 surveys, and what is the sync state of that survey. This survey says partial sync as because the interview number 1 and 2 are synced but not 3. As soon as that interviewer performs the full sync, it will have full sync status over here. Let me quickly perform a full sync on my device, and it will show you an updated status over here. I've just clicked on full sync on my device. The sync is in process. Okay, the sync is done. I will go again. I'll select that interviewer, click on view details. Now you can see the status has changed. The last sync less than a minute ago, and the sync status is now full sync. I can go to that survey sample, and now my last activity column has a value, and all my sample data variables and the dart file has been perfectly synced with the manager. So always remember to check this column in case you find a discrepancy between the number of completes you see in the Nfield manager, the counts, and the actual data in the dart file. Monitor surveys. This is simply a tab in your survey where you can monitor the fieldwork. You can simply go to it on the left hand side, monitor fieldwork, and it will give you a comprehensive bifurcations about each status of the interviews. Number of successful, dropout, screen out, rejected, and deleted. You can even see the counts of the quotas as well. From the progress tab, you can even download the data by simply clicking on this button and select the interview status and type of data you want to download. Okay. So the recap, we talked about interviewers, how a user can add, delete, or modify an interviewer in the interviewer tab. For that, the user role must be DA, power user, regular user, or supervisor. Second, you can download worklog file. You can upload, download interviewers, even delete all the interviewers. There is a toggle supervisor mode, which you turn on, then that interviewer will be able to enable device ID on the device, which we will discuss about this in the upcoming academies. Then how to set up a survey with the sampling method as a free intercept. You can use the same step, but if you have a different sampling method, you can choose it from the available options. You can choose it to join targets. For join targets, you need to have a quota frame and to define uh, a target for each interviewer. Then you can also select sampling points, sampling point with quotas, sampling point with addresses. Then assigning of interviewers in a particular survey. You just need to have a role of power user, DA, regular user, or supervisor. Quotas. You can download and upload quota frames, and it should be in the JSON format. Next, track interviewers. You can track interviewers in multiple ways. You can just go to samples and assignment page and then interviewers and then assignments, and you can find the list of interviewers assigned in that survey with the counts performed by those interviewers. You can also go to the main page of the Nfield manager and select and go to the interviewers tab, select your interviewer and click on view details. It will give you an overall view of all the surveys assigned to that interviewer, and you can also check the status of whether that interview has fully synced or partially synced. Then monitor the surveys is simply a tab in your for each survey where you can see how many surveys has been done, how many interviews has been done, how many completes you have, successful, screen out, dropout, etc. So this is the end of the our academy session today. Any questions we have so far? I see no questions. Okay. Okay. Then recording of this session will be available later this week. Our Nfield documentation is already updated. If anyone has any questions, you can write to help desk. Next session will be the second chapter in the Nfield basics, Nfield CAPI sessions. Yeah, thank you.